Hi everyone, I'm Jerry James Stone. In today's video, I'm going to go over baking supplies. Basically, how to stock up your pantry and food storage for those supplies. So let's get to it. Okay, so here we go. Baking supplies and how to stock your pantry. Let's start out with some simple ones, like baking soda. So baking soda, if it's an unopened package, it'll last in your pantry for about 3 years. But if it's open, it'll last about 6 months. Now, sometimes it'll go past that date. Easy way to tell, add a little bit of baking soda to some vinegar. If it bubbles, that baking soda is fresh and still good to use. Okay, so baking powder, if it's an unopened box, then it will last up to the expiration date that's on the package plus 6 months. If it's opened, only about 6 months. That's about how long it will stay fresh. But you can test it just like baking soda. So take a teaspoon of baking powder, add it to some warm or hot water, and if it bubbles, then that baking powder is still fresh and good to use. Next up is some cream of tartar. Now, if you have cream of tartar, that will actually last indefinitely, opened or not, it's good to go. It doesn't really spoil. So the next thing you want to have in your pantry is some cornstarch. This is great for obviously, thickening sauces and various other things. Cornstarch will last, open or not, indefinitely. Shortening is another great baking staple. If it's unopened, it'll last about till the expiration date, plus about 3 months. If it's opened, you have it for about a year that it stays fresh. Now this is different if I'm talking about a can of shortening. If you're using like the sticks or something like that, you want half that time. It's about half the time. The can really does preserve that. Chocolate chips are another great staple to have on hand for baking. So these will last about 6 months past the best by date. Now, if you see some whiteness form on the chocolate chips, that's okay. It's just the cocoa fat rising to the surface. It's still completely safe to eat. If you see sugar crystals forming around the chocolate, it's also still safe to eat, but you're gonna have a compromised chocolate. So the quality is gonna be a little degraded, but still completely safe. And sticking to the chocolate category, we have cocoa powder, the unsweetened kind. So that's another great staple for baking. So have that in your pantry. Cocoa powder will last, opened or not, about 2 years past the expiration date. Evaporated milk is another great staple to have on hand when you're baking. If you're a baker, if you're trying to stock up your pantry, evaporated milk will actually last about 1 year past the expiration date, but once you open that can, you want to use it within a few days. Of course, you can't bake anything without vanilla extract, right? It's used in so many different recipes. The pure stuff is the way to go. The pure stuff actually will last indefinitely, opened or not, so forever practically. If you get the imitation stuff, which can be a little bit cheaper, the downfall is it only lasts about a year past the expiration date and it degrades over that time either way, so go pure. Of course, baking, you can't do that without flour. If you're using all-purpose flour, that'll last about a year past the best by date, open or not, but if you put it in the fridge or the freezer, it'll actually last up to 2 years. So what's baking without granulated sugar, right? Like that's how you have all these delicious sweet treats. So if you want to have granulated sugar in your pantry, which you should if you're stocking up for baking, it will actually last indefinitely. Just like granulated sugar, brown sugar, another pantry staple for baking. So brown sugar lasts indefinitely also. It will harden over time. That's completely natural. So if it does harden, you can do one of two things. If you're in a hurry, you can put it in the microwave in a microwave safe dish with a damp paper towel and just microwave it for a few seconds, like 10 seconds at a time until it softens up. If you have some time to kill, you can put a slice of bread in with it, in the bag with it, and it will soften up over a few days, but it lasts indefinitely. And the last pantry staple for baking, honey. I love honey personally. Honey is great. It will last indefinitely. Heck, there's like honey that's like 3,000 years old. Honey will last forever. It's natural for it to crystallize. It's safe to eat after it crystallizes. There's a couple things you can do to prevent it. If you store the honey, you want to store it in a dark place at room temperature. It will slowly crystallize at room temperature, but if you go colder than room temperature, so if you're putting it in the pantry or the garage, it'll crystallize a lot faster. So the colder it gets, the more crystallized it gets. Okay, so that's how you store all of these baking supplies. As a general rule, they all prefer a cool, dark place. Moisture is their greatest enemy, so airtight containers are always great once you open those packages. Also keep them away from odors. As I mentioned, they like cool, dark places, so don't store them near the stove or above the stove or near a heat source. And as always, if you notice any sort of change in color or mold or unpleasant taste, toss it. You don't want to keep those items around. But that's how you pack your pantry with these amazing baking supplies. Hopefully this was helpful. If you like to cook like I do, please subscribe. I release new videos every single week. If there's something that you want to see, just drop a comment down below. And hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. See you guys next time. Next thing you want to have in your pantry is some cornstarch. Hey, stop that. My cat's misbehaving.